everyone. I am Lindsey Egan, founder of Poppy Legal Group.
And I'm Rob Hartigan, the founder of Lionhart Injury Law. And this is our brand new podcast, Lawyers in the Wild.
This show is all about taking the law out of the office. Real talk about building a practice, running a business, and staying human while trying to do both.
No scripts, no suits, and definitely no fake lawyer talk today.
And we couldn't think literally of a better first guest than Tristian Shannon, who is changing the way people think about law and branding.
Now, Tristian's known for his honesty, his hustle, and ability to say what everyone else is too afraid to say. And quite frankly, he's really a brilliant guy. So
buckle up, because we are starting Lawyers in the Wild the only way we know how. Unfiltered, unscripted, and a lot of it wild.
Tristian, man, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. I feel blessed. I feel honored, Found my little cult. You never know how it's going to work when you speak your mind in the legal field.
Yeah. And
you're in a safe space.
Yeah. Can I say, dude, the lighting for your video is incredible.
Thanks.
Dude, it's great. And the Oregon shirt was a nice touch.
Work in progress. I'm always changing it around depending on where I'm at, if I'm home or in the office.
I was going to bring the Georgia Bulldog shirt. I ended up going with something different, but
yeah, that's all right.
Maybe next time we'll coordinate.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
My Canadian tuxedo. You can't jeans on jeans a la 2000-something Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I saw a photo of that the other day.
Yeah, it's real good.
It's quite a throwback.
So you're welcome.
Right? You don't have the hat and rhinestones to go with it.
Those are in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have enough time to put it all together.
Yeah. We got to give them something to wait for. It can't be episode 1.
Yeah, no, it's like the big market tease.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, good things to come.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Tristian, man, tell us just your background, what you do, and your journey to, get to where you're at today.
Oh, geez, my background. So, I do a couple of different things. I'm a partner at Everlasting Home Solutions. It's a real estate firm company. We mostly focus on wholesaling, but we do traditional sellers, buyers, renting. I'm the chief marketing officer and business operations for Giselle's firm, GMR Law. So, we're an immigration firm. I mostly just handle the back end with marketing, specifically video marketing, how to market directly to the clients using social media platforms or incorporating, Google or YouTube, things like that. And then I opened up, after a while, we started getting a lot of people calling the firm just to get a hold of who does her marketing. So after a while, I just decided to open up Primus, which is just the video marketing aspect of that, just specifically mostly working with other law firms to use video marketing and to kind of just take it into their own hands. And then I have a few other projects that I can't really talk about, but I got some big things coming.
Give us a crumb. Give us a sprinkle. A little hint.
A little hint. I guess I'm expanding, so I'm opening up, different offices and other locations for certain areas.
Exhausted just listening to this. Like, I got this, I got that, I'm doing this is on tap. Like, how do you do it all?
How do you juggle it all, man?
Yeah.
Honestly.
The truth, I think I bit off more than I can chew. I'm not gonna lie. I think what happens is I see this vision in my head on what I want my life to be, what I want my career to be. And I was at a point where, I can do one company, one business at a time, or I can just rip the Band-Aid off and start working on everything as one. So I've been fortunate enough that in some of my companies, we started making money pretty relatively quickly. So I just said, might as well just do it now. So I figured I'd just jump in and do it.
Yeah, man. And you absolutely crush it on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram. No, really. He's
no.
incredible.
I told myself last week, I'm like, this is the week I'm getting back into LinkedIn. I'm going to do it. And I replied to a couple of his things. I think I literally hit enter and it was like, beep bop. He replied. It's insane.
I mean, LinkedIn sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like it. I mean, I'm good at it, but I don't really like it. It's just a different way of marketing and all that stuff. But I mean, there's pros and cons to all the platforms.
Yeah.
So you see, I mean, and we see it too, just being LinkedIn users. There's a lot of attorneys on there who, I don't know, talk a big game. Um, they're putting all these posts out about how great they are, and how they treat clients and how special they are.
But
Um,
then some of them, like them authentically IRL.
yeah,
That means in real life, kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't back up what they're selling.
Yeah, like you see I don't know, you see some of the content they put out, and whether it's billboards or whatever. In your experience, right? Because Giselle, who you
Mhm.
work with, and she's done an amazing job, and you both have, like, building her firm to where it is today.
Yeah,
Oh, just
appreciate
like
it.
the immigration attorney to
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
Boston and
yeah,
everywhere else.
yeah. I mean, we'll say it. She's the number one.
D, no big
Yeah,
deal.
I mean, you're the number one immigration firm in Boston.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
which is really fantastic, given the short amount of time you guys did it, and
And maybe also the political climate.
yeah, that's
Right.
part of it, right?
Some
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just like I don't really know. Like people get comfortable. I mean, you know that, right? So when we first opened up the firm, um, I knew that we could, rank number one in immigration. I didn't think we'd get it as quickly as we did. But you just, if you're really passionate about it, for me, I'm really ambitious. So I'm studying the competitors, and I'm seeing what's out there, and I'm seeing, who's actually doing the work versus who's faking it. What are our strengths? Let's double down on that. And more importantly, I'm willing to experiment with different things. And I think that's really what helped us, is willing to experiment with things. Because as you know, a lot of people, especially in the legal field and attorneys, they don't really look at social media as something to do. We got a lot of pushback in the beginning. But I think what happens is that now that people see the success that we're having, and how much ground we covered, now everyone's kind of trying to jump on that. So I think it's just really understanding who the audience is, and understanding if you want to be different, you need to do different things.
Yeah, I mean, would you say that the game has really changed? I mean, just even in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
right? With how, it used to be, you had these legacy law firms, right? And they had a ton of money, and they had the reputation. And now you've got younger firms, and, younger lawyers, whatever, new firms
I feel
coming
like
in.
even in my graduating class, there were so many people that were just primed to go join their parents' pre-established law practice,
Yeah.
right? Or someone in the family, or the path was already carved out for them a little bit. There was like a
Mhm.
certainty there, and I think all of us in this room can say pretty clearly, none of this was handed to us,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's challenging in and of itself. But
Yeah.
I think the pro to that is that we can make it whatever we want.
Yeah, I mean, do you see, I mean, in 2025 now, that you can have a new firm, right, and gain a ton of ground and become number one, even though you're not a legacy law firm?
Mm.
I mean, we're doing it. So people
Yeah.
can't still see it, then they're behind the eight ball. I think what happens is, like, we get stuck, especially going to law school, you get stuck thinking that you have to follow this system, and you have to put the time in first and wait your time, and do the things the traditional route. And this is the way it is because this is what I had to go through before I did this. And when you start thinking about doing something that's outside the box, it challenges people. They don't understand it. They think you're crazy. So like, we graduated during the pandemic. A lot of people don't know that. Who the hell was hiring?
Right.
First
Right.
off,
Yeah.
to start off, right? No, nobody was hiring. And more importantly, when we graduated, I told Giselle, I said, if we're going to do this, because she graduated before me, let's just run it the way I wanted to run it, but we'll just use, what area of law that you want to practice, which is immigration. And I knew that from looking at it that way, if we can just hire somebody to take care of like search engine optimization, and we can find a mentor or coach to just let us know to help us, let us know like what roadblocks we're going to have, or, this is the way we want to build our firm, because we didn't want to build it a traditional way, right? So we had to find someone to let them know, hey, we have a vision of this is how we want to do it. There's not a lot of people that look at it. This is what we want to do. Any roadblocks or anything, I want to know what we're getting ourselves into so that way we can overcome it. Once we did that, I was able to be like, okay, let me focus on the marketing, and we have to just double down on our strengths, right? Me and Giselle, we didn't have the experience that other people have, right? And if you want the experience and work for somebody else, that's fine, but that's just not what she wanted to do, and that's not what I wanted to do. So we can control whatever it is that we want. So how do we do that? You market directly to the clients. Right? We didn't have time to network. Hey, can you send us some business over there? It was just, again, the middle of the pandemic. We couldn't go anywhere anyways, even if you wanted to network. So, we tried that. Rob, we tried that, man. We jumped into those Facebook groups that are so freaking stupid with
Oh, you can
attorneys.
swear on this
Yeah, you can
podcast.
swear.
Yeah, like it was just this, and then how do you fill this out? I have a client here doing that stuff, and we do that. And I remember Giselle asked the question, and she's like, "I helped the client get their citizenship approved. Is there some type of regulation for me to ask them to use their photo to put it on our website?" And she got slammed in the comments from other attorneys. Oh, that's cringe. That's unprofessional. Why would you do that? Like, what, this and that. You should never be able to do that. And I told her, I said, dude, remove yourself from that group and stay away from these fucking idiots, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
So good
Yeah.
for you. Like
Yeah.
protecting your own space. That's really hard. Like, and I felt that too. Like the naysayers out there, the people that are saying, "Oh, you, what are you thinking? Like that's not the traditional way. That's not how it's been done, right?" And that we're supposed to give some deference to those that have walked before us.
Yeah.
How do you break out of that? How do you like put on earmuffs and tune them out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't tune out. I jump
Yeah.
in. Like if somebody got something to say, Giselle, no, she's always telling me, please don't. Like she's like, get a burner account, don't use your real account right now.
I've seen him blow people up on.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna do that. But like for example, that was a Facebook group that she was in specifically only for attorneys, where they go in and they brainstorm and talk about things on immigration. And the person who had something to say was an immigration attorney in Boston, Massachusetts. And I hate when they start off with, I've been practicing for X amount of years.
God,
And
I've
I'm
heard that so
like,
many
dude,
times, like-
shut the fuck up.
What's
This is why you're struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. So
sometimes those are the most, I was saying that to my paralegal the other day. Those are the most incompetent people and opposing counsel, those ones that just puff up and they try to like bully you into submission. I
Mhm.
find that they 9 times out of 10 are the ones that cannot do an oral argument,
Yep.
that are not intelligent, and they're completely deflecting.
Yeah, it's just a mechanism to be a
Yeah.
a bully and put you down, but also my response to that is, hey, chief, like my bar card's the same size as yours,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah, I
so-
like that.
yeah, no, that's a good one. Somebody told
that's a
me
good
that.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna use that. I'm gonna use that one, Rob. That's a good one. But you want to know what it is on a deeper level? It's because Giselle's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth of it. And that's something that gets me really irritated. I see it all the time. The belittling, the backhanded compliments that she gets, and it's always from other male attorneys, specifically mostly other male attorneys in the immigration space. But it's like I don't understand that. So that's why I get very defensive and I come from behind her and I call them out on it, because they wouldn't use those tones with me and you, Rob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just those types of things that we had to deal with early on.
I know, and it's really disappointing given how far the legal industry has come.
Mm-hmm. And humanity in general.
Yeah, might be a few steps back at this point, but that this is still happening in 2025 in a
Yeah.
courtroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's discouraging, and I think more people need to stand up and
Yeah.
call people out on it.
Yeah.
Which I know, you're not afraid to do, and you do it, but it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Um, so,
I mean, it's just like I give you a perfect example. I won't name the person, but I'll just say so. Giselle did her internship at Harvard Law,
mhm,
Harvard Immigration Clinic, and she won her first asylum case. This is when we were still in law school. And she always talked highly on this attorney. She's learning so much. She's working with the family. Like Giselle gets really attached to these clients. She really wants to help them.
yeah,
And then I remember, like, one day I was talking to her and she just seemed down. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I was talking to my supervising attorney, and he was asking me what my plans were. And she's like, I plan on opening up my own law firm, right when I graduate. And he's like, oh, you're not ready for that. You still need way more experience and time. I really want to recommend that. And I just remember that she was just like, I could tell that she was bothered by it because she looked up to him. You know what I'm saying? And then fast forward 3 years into her running her own law firm, who pops around?
Mm,
Hey, love to get together, see all the success you're having.
mm,
Maybe we can work together. And I'm telling Giselle, you need to throw the middle fingers to him. Hell no. So it's unfortunate, but those are the things that happen.
and since we're like this is Lawyers in the Wild and it's real talk. Like, I will tell you, in Massachusetts, in the personal injury, side of things, it's super territorial,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, you don't see a lot of attorneys, like PI attorneys, co-counseling cases together. It's like, oh, well, you can refer the case to me, and let me run with it. Versus, hey, do you want to team up on it and work it together? Now, comparing that with Georgia, which in Georgia, like, there's super collaborative, right? And I might get some shit for this,
Why?
but I
Why
don't think
is
it's a lot.
that?
But I think maybe it's the culture.
Yeah.
But the attorneys in Georgia have far superior results on their cases than they do, on the PI side than in Massachusetts.
Wow.
And there are some incredible attorneys in Mass, who do who do give back,
Mm-hmm.
and who will take the time to mentor.
Mm-hmm.
But the vast majority, like, they don't. Um, so I can see, like, how in your industry it's very,
It's so important. Like going even to the mentorship side of things. I've always told people I consider like mentorship like a sandwich. Like if I'm in the middle, I'm always looking for someone that can mentor me and then someone that could learn from me.
Yeah.
I think it's so important. And I just feel like that just comes from a threatened person,
yeah.
right? Like there is room at the table for all of us. There will never be like another Lindsey Egan or Rob Hartigan or
Eh,
Tristian Shannon. Like there won't.
Yeah.
and there's plenty to go around, right?
There is.
So
I mean, it depends. There's plenty to go around until you piss me off. Then I'm going to take everything you have, right?
Right.
Because, like, here's the bottom.
But that's because you were burned by somebody else, or somebody was being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's just like Massachusetts is one of those things is that everyone just wants to be the superstar of their firm and they can do it themselves. And they're going, people are going to start realizing quickly that it's going to be the ones that play together and help each other out and work as a team. They're the ones that are going to cover ground the most.
Yeah.
And
No.
give credit where it's due. Like Tristian, speaking of my 1 week experience back on LinkedIn, but I saw lovely posts that you did about your interns and talking about their history
Yep.
and the
Mhm.
backstory and the work that they gave to you and how lucky they will be in the future to be in a place that values them for what they're able to do.
Yeah.
And recognizing the strengths in other people and calling them out for it is huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just distinguishing yourself. I mean, my job is to, like, the biggest thing I try to do is I try to give people the answers and the truth of what I wish people would have given me,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, it's kind of hard trying to figure out if somebody's wearing a mask or if they're really them, right?
Yeah.
And then what's the true agenda with it. And I think, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, we've all been to conferences.
Mhm.
We've got CleoCon this week,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be the biggest. I think it's the biggest legal conference.
It's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't been to it yet, but I know we've all been to conferences in the past where we've met somebody and they say, hey, like reach out or, hit me up on LinkedIn or Instagram or call me, and I'll help you out or whatever, do lunch. And then you never hear anything
Yeah.
and they go
Yeah.
through, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah, tell me about your experience with that.
here's the thing with that. Like, so it kind of goes back to the beginning where we kind of touched about it before. You have to, unfortunately, you have to vet people out on LinkedIn. And that's what I realized because, when I first started, I'm trying to figure out, who's the real attorney, who's the top attorney, who's doing well, this, and that. Oh my God, this person's written a book. Oh, this person's speaking at this event. Oh, this person's constantly talking about, hey, I'm transparent. I'm always trying to give to the younger attorneys. If you have any questions, come on my way. I'm an open book. I love to help. There's enough to go around. And then, so you start signing up for some of these conferences and you buy the book. And then you roll up and you start to talk to these people and you realize that one, they're either complete dickheads on what they come off to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They're not as friendly as it is. Or two, something just doesn't add up with their stories. And
It's like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. You're just so
Right.
fucking disappointed.
yeah, it's stuff like that. So it's like, I had a time where I went into a conference and I went into an event and, there was an attorney there who had invited me and, we went and we're around we're supposed to be there to network and trade ideas. And it's the same talk. I'm an open book. I can help you with these things. But then when you start asking questions like, okay, how do you solve this system? What do you do if you get this clients? Even something as crazy as some people think is disrespectful. I don't ask. I ask. I don't think it's disrespectful, but I'll be like, hey, listen, how much revenue are you on track to make? And then I can figure out if that's a real thing, because if you're serious about your business, you know what your revenue numbers are and you know what your goals are every month, right? And some people think it's rude when I ask that, but it's like you're the one preaching that you're an open book and you want to help. I want to know how to get to your level.
Yeah.
So when I ask you, what's your revenue projections, and you give me an answer, but I don't feel like the answer was the right answer. So then I have a follow-up question. Well, what's your monthly revenue? Because if I know what your monthly revenue is, I'm going to be able to tell if your revenue goal is bullshit or not. Right? You know what I'm saying? If you say, oh, we're going to hit 1.2 million, but then you're telling me, oh, we're averaging $60,000 a month. I know, okay, you're off by like half that. So what's going on here? But I just think, I feel like that's the problem with it. And then when you dig in closer, a lot of these people just what do we call it in law school? Fluffing? Puffing, make themselves bigger.
Like
puffery,
Yeah, puffering, make themselves bigger of what it is. They'll be there talking about, in trial, I did this, or I did that. But then you figure out that they never go to trial. They settle everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You go to their websites and they post these things.
I've never lost a trial.
Yeah, because you've never gone to trial, it doesn't make sense. Oh, this is how I handle $1 million settlements. Then you go to their website, they don't even have $1 million settlement on their website. So how are you posting these things? So I just feel like there's just a sense of insecurity. There's a sense of wanting to pretend that you're bigger than what you actually are. And unless people are in that field, it's easy for a client to be misled by that. To me, that's a form of misrepresentation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what always irks me too, like on the personal injury side, is these lawyers that say, oh, we're trial lawyers, or we go all the way, and it's like bullshit. How many cases have you tried in the last year, 5 years, 10 years, right? Because the real trial lawyers out there, man, they're trying cases all the time. Like they are actually standing up for the people who are injured, and they're trying to get them justice.
And the non-attorney clients are none the wiser.
Right. They don't know. Like they don't know how to vet.
Exactly.
Bells and whistles and shiny things.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you have to, as part of the, personal injury world, you settle cases.
Yeah.
Right. But the ones that go out there and, puff themselves up as, we're this big, trial firm, It's like, come on, stop, right?
I mean, here's the thing, Rob. You can't sit here. So I meet with some of these attorneys, right? They reach out to me, hey, let's love to have coffee, grab lunch, let's talk, see how we can help each other. All they're really trying to do is figure out if I'm getting enough business so I can send it to them. But in the conversations when I'm talking to them, they're telling me, you know, oh, I get these clients, I tried a case here, I tried a case that, because that's the thing about attorneys. They always want to talk about themselves when they meet with you. They never actually want to talk about how you can collaborate. It's more, this is what I'm doing, these are all the great things I did, and by the way, if you have anything, send me some business, maybe I'll cut you a referral depending on
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, whatever it's at. But more importantly, it's like they'll tell you, I'll ask, oh, what's the last time you tried a case? Oh, I haven't, it's been like 7, 8 years, but your LinkedIn the day before, you was
yeah,
talking about how you prepare for trial.
yeah,
Good.
Now you telling me face to face, it's been 7, 8 years since you tried. How the fuck is that not misrepresentation or fraud? I can't trust you. You want me to send you clients after you told me that?
yeah. I mean, it's particularly in the personal injury trial world. Um, there's so many, like, nationwide. And there's really some fantastic attorneys who actually give back their time
Yeah.
and put on, like, seminars and workshops to train. And I feel that if you're gonna try to get to that level, you need to be going to those workshops and learning from those
Yeah.
attorneys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's going to make you. I mean, I go to those workshops as much as I can
hmm
to learn from the best, and it's made me a better lawyer
Mhm.
because when it comes to trying cases, like, you want to be ready,
Yeah.
right? And if you haven't tried a case in a decade, do you honestly think you're going to do as good of a job as somebody who's seasoned and is trying cases, at least, a couple times a year? Like, no way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But the client doesn't know that,
Mm-mm.
right?
Exactly.
Well, it's like my first grader trying to read her first chapter book, right? It's like, what, you think you're going to be able to read this when we can't do see spot run? Like, you got to start somewhere. You got to learn. You got to teach. You got to do it all.
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, for you, just in your space, again, I mean, I'm sure, people are reaching out, and, you're seeing kind of who's legit and who's not on social media. But kind of, I mean, where do you think just the industry is going on the marketing side? And you don't have to reveal too much,
Yeah.
but like, where do you think those older firms, like, what's going to happen to them
Yeah.
compared to the ones who are actually, like, intelligent on the marketing side?
I mean, I think like I don't think anything really is going to happen to like Morgan and Morgan or anything like that
Oh,
once you
yeah,
have
yeah.
like the
I mean, they're the
reputation.
exception, right? Yeah.
But as far as like the marketing side, I think what's going to happen, and they're going to already start to see it, is it's going to balance out where the people who are not even good to just make video content, put themselves out there, they're going to start dominating a higher percentage of the business shares than the older firms that still, don't stay up to date with the marketing, or they still believe in the billboards or wrapping the buses and paying for the stupid fucking radio ads that are really not going to really
Or
pull in.
every correspondence through snail mail and not even in email. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you
Yeah.
function?
I
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I don't get that. And I think what's going to happen, and you're already starting to see it a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because now I'm having like other firms reach out to me when
Yeah.
before they would like laugh at what we were doing. Now all of a sudden they want to know how to do it. Is you have to remember that you can market directly to the clients. And it's not as easy as people think it is, but but it's as simple as it needs to be, because a lot of them just won't be consistent with it. That's just the biggest thing, right? People will not stick with it as long enough. Everybody knows they need to do video marketing, but who makes the time to do it?
Yeah.
Because we're lawyers, we're busy, right? But you got to find the time. It's not really an excuse, but you guys got a lot more problems to do when you're an attorney and you got clients and you got to be filing things or going to court. We get that, but it still doesn't, like, you still have to find time to shoot the content, right?
Yeah.
To make it so that way at least you're dropping something every day. Because what I've realized is you never know who's going to find you and put you in the right direction. When I was pushing Giselle to do TikTok, she fought me on it. And then when she started doing TikTok videos and she started getting clients, it was, well, how did you find me? And the clients are like, oh, well, my granddaughter saw you on a video on TikTok, right? So it's like it starts expanding my mind where it's like, well, okay, the majority of our clients are this age, but we have to market to the people who influence the decision,
Yeah.
right? So in the immigration side, it's always the kids and the grandkids,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not going to be their grandparents or their parents on TikTok, right? We know how everyone looks at that. So it's like you got to make sure you're everywhere at once. And I think a lot of people, especially with these traditional firms, they're still stuck on outdated tech. Billboards is one of them. Can't stand the attorneys that talk about billboards because they'll talk about it like, oh, this is what I do. Here's my billboard. When you look at it, it's like, okay, well, where's the location of the billboard? Because I'm big on location, right? We can charge a certain amount of money to our clients because of our location. I have other immigration firms that say, oh, our clients would never build that because you're in a poorer location. That's just the reality of it. If you build around it, then you can maximize off of it and then give back, right? It all depends on what area you want to do. But some of these attorneys, they're still stuck on the billboards because they think it means something. You can't track that.
Yeah.
It's just the ego, low self-esteem thing that you're pushing. Now, do I think billboards is a waste of time? No, I think it's good to be top of mind, but I don't think it should be a priority in what you need to do to market your law firm. There's a lot more effective, cheaper ways to do it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Like I think that, and again, it works for some firms,
Yeah.
but I feel it's so outdated,
Yeah.
It is.
right?
I totally agree.
Because I feel like the new, whatever generation, whatever you want to call it,
The young hip kid.
the young hip kids, right? They don't care about billboards. Like they're looking at their phones.
Oh.
They're looking at their
Exactly.
phones, right? You know, who's got the best branding?
I know.
And who's got the best messaging?
You got to be hip. That's
Yeah.
what I think. I think law firms, you got to be hip. You got to be hip to the point where like the high school kids and young kids are like, oh, this person's cool or this logo's cool or you know what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah.
want to blend in with the rest of the
Yeah,
firms.
cool. I mean, I'm not dancing, but you know,
Lindsey, you're definitely cool.
yeah, no,
You start marketing, yeah, you definitely got that. You got the vibes for sure.
yeah. Now I'm gonna give you my wife's cell so you can text her and tell her that.
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of being cool and maximizing time and all of that, I think this is the point where we let you go and be free and continue doing your good work and bow down to you coming
Yes.
on our inaugural podcast, episode 1. This has been so much fun and the time flew and we're just beyond grateful.
Yes.
No,
absolutely.
thank you for having me. I hope I did an amazing job for you guys. I appreciate
You
you for
did.
having me come
You
here
did.
and set the tone. And I'm excited to see how your podcast grows.
And
We'll have you back for sure.
absolutely.
Kicking or screaming maybe, but you'll be back.
Yes.
I'll definitely be back.
And hopefully next time it's in person.
Yeah.
You and Giselle come up to the recording studio, and I don't know, maybe we can get some food or something. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're wild and crazy kids.
right, yeah.
Question, what is the best way for people to find you, for those that are looking to connect with you or see more about the work that you and Giselle are doing?
I think the best way to find me is probably through LinkedIn. Just type in my name, Tristian, Tristian, last name Shannon, Shannon, and just check out the vibes. If you like my content, hit a follow. If you don't, keep it moving.
Yeah. See you
Right.
never.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
Oh, it's a great vibe.
Thank you for vibing with us today.
Yes.
No
We'll see you at the
problem.
conference, man.
I'll see you there.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tristian, man. We'll see you. Bye.
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 Yeah,